Barbara Jean, ever the diplomat, patted Brock's arm, a knowing look in her eyes. Now, honey, Reba deserves to be happy, and David sounds like a very nice man, a cultured man. She then leaned towards Reba, a conspiratorial whisper, her eyes twinkling mischievously. Is he toned? Does he do both? Because if not, Jordan can always give him a few pointers. Reba chuckled, shaking her head. He's more of a contemplative stroll through a museum kind of guy. Bob, less sweat and grunting. He appreciates the finer, quieter things in life. Brock, however, couldn't shake his discomfort. He found himself subtly quizzing Reba about David, trying to ascertain if this new man was good enough for his if he could possibly measure up too well to Brock himself. It was a strange reversal of roles, a testament to the lingering complexities of their intertwined lives, and Brock's own evolving understanding of his place in Reba's world. He seems a little quiet, Brock observed after meeting David briefly at a school event, a parent-teacher night where David was, predictably, discussing the geopolitical landscape of the Roman Empire. Are you sure he's exciting enough for you, Reba? You're a woman who needs zest, adventure. Reba raised an eyebrow, a wry smile touching her lips. Brock, I've had enough zest and drama to last a lifetime. Sometimes, a little quiet is exactly what I need. A little peace, a little stability. She realized that Brock, despite his own happiness with Barbara Jean, still held a certain image of Reba in his mind. An image that perhaps didn't allow for her to find a different kind of contentment, a quieter, more profound happiness. He was still seeing a reflection of his past, not her present. David, for his part, handled the eccentricities of Reba's family with grace, good humor, and an almost academic curiosity. He understood that Reba came with a vibrant, albeit complicated, support system, a whirlwind of personalities and intertwined histories. He was patient with Brock's thinly veiled interrogation, charming with Barbara Jean's enthusiastic inquiries about his fitness regimen, and genuinely interested in the lives of Reba's children, asking them about their school, their hobbies, their dreams. He saw them all, not as obstacles, but as integral parts of Reba's world. One evening, after another pleasant date, David confessed, a gentle smile on his face. Your family, Reba, they're quite a force of nature, a fascinating study in human dynamics. Reba laughed, a warm, affectionate sound. You have no idea, David. You've only seen them on their best behavior. You should see them when the remote control goes missing. I like it, David said, his hand gently covering hers, his gaze warm and sincere. It tells me a lot about you, Reba, that you've built such a strong, loving, albeit chaotic, world around you. It speaks volumes about your heart, your resilience, your capacity for love. It's a beautiful thing to witness. Reba felt a warmth spread through her, a profound sense of being truly seen, truly appreciated. David truly saw her, not just as a single mom or an ex, but as the strong, loving, complex woman she was, with all her history and all her hopes. It was a profound and comforting feeling, a quiet affirmation of her worth. Their relationship blossomed slowly, steadily, like a carefully tended garden. There were no dramatic declarations, no grand gestures, just a quiet deepening of affection and understanding. Reba found herself looking forward to their time together, to the shared laughter, the thoughtful conversations, the simple pleasure of his company. She was learning to trust again, to open her heart to a new kind of love, a love that felt grounded and real. She realized that this new chapter in her life was not about replacing what she had lost, but about building something new, something that honored her past while embracing her future. It was a testament to her journey beyond the reflection, a journey that had led her to a place of self-acceptance, resilience, and the hopeful promise of a new kind of love. A love that saw beyond the surface, into the true essence of who she was. The new normal, she realized, was simply a reflection of her own growth. Chapter 13. The Shifting Sands of Friendship. Barbara Jean's. The friendship between Reba and Barbara Jean, once a turbulent sea of rivalry and reluctant camaraderie, a relationship forged in the unlikely fires of divorce and remarriage, now found a calmer current, a more predictable flow. The weight loss drama, the spying, the painful confessions, the Jordan revelation. It had all served as a painful but necessary cleansing, clearing the air for a more authentic, more honest connection. They had navigated the choppy waters of their past, and emerged, surprisingly, stronger. Barbara Jean, having navigated her own profound journey of self, became more empathetic, more attuned to the feelings of others. She still had her moments of self-absorption, her flamboyant declarations, her dramatic pronouncements, but they were tempered with a newfound awareness of others' feelings, a subtle shift in her boisterous personality. She was genuinely happy for Reba's budding romance with David, offering unsolicited advice on dating, fashion, and the art of keeping a man interested. Now, Reba, when you go out with David, make sure you wear something that accentuates your best features, Barbara Jean instructed one afternoon. Rummaging through Reba's closet with the zeal of a professional stylist, pulling out garments Reba hadn't worn in years. And for heaven's sake, ditch these sensible shoes. A woman in love needs a little sparkle, a little... She held up a pair of glittery heels Reba vaguely remembered buying for a New Year's Eve party a decade ago. Reba, who was trying to fold a mountain of laundry, sighed dramatically, a familiar exasperation bubbling up. Barb, I'm going to a museum, not a nightclub, and David appreciates my sensible shoes. They're comfortable. Details. Barbara Jean waved her hand dismissively. Undeterred. It's about the attitude, Reba, the I'm fabulous and I know it attitude. You have to project confidence, even if you're just looking at old artifacts. Despite the occasional over-the-top advice and the chaotic closet raids, Reba appreciated Barbara Jean's enthusiasm. It came from a place of genuine affection, a desire for her friend to experience the same joy and confidence she had found in her own transformation. Barbara Jean genuinely wanted Reba to be happy, to find love, to embrace her own version of Nupri. Their friendship also found new depths in shared vulnerabilities. Barbara Jean, while outwardly confident and radiant, still had moments of insecurity, particularly about maintaining her new weight and navigating the changed perceptions of others. She would confide in Reba about the pressure she sometimes felt, the constant vigilance required to keep the pounds off, the fear of slipping back into old habits, the struggle to reconcile her new pretty exterior with her deeply ingrained old Barbara Jean self, the one who found comfort in food. Reba, having gone through her own struggles with self-image, listened with empathy and offered quiet reassurance, a steady, non-judgmental presence. It's okay to feel that way, Barb, Reba would say, her voice gentle. Change is hard. Maintaining change is even harder. But you've come so far, and the most important thing is that you're doing it for you, not for anyone else. One cookie won't undo all your hard work. One particularly challenging day, Barbara Jean called Reba in a panic, her voice trembling, on the verge of tears. She had eaten an entire box of cookies after a stressful argument with Brock, a momentary lapse in her discipline. Oh, Reba, I've ruined everything. I'm going to gain all the weight back. I'm a failure. I'm going back to being the old me. She wailed into the phone, her despair palpable. Reba, instead of judgment, offered calm wisdom, a steady anchor in Barbara Jean's emotional storm. Barb, one box of cookies does not undo months of hard work. It's a bump in the road, not a you. It's a moment, not a lifetime. Forgive yourself, learn from it, and get back on track tomorrow. You're human, not a robot. We all stumble. The important thing is how you pick yourself back up. Barbara Jean paused, then sniffled, a shaky breath escaping her lips. You're right. You're always right, Reba. You're like my own personal Yoda, but with better hair and a lot more sarcasm. Reba chuckled, a warm feeling spreading through her, and fewer hidden carbs. This newfound honesty and mutual support solidified their bond, deepening their friendship in ways neither of them had anticipated. They had moved beyond the superficial, beyond the rivalry for Brock's attention or the competition of appearances. They were two women, navigating the complexities of life, friendship, and self-acceptance, leaning on each other for strength and understanding, sharing their vulnerabilities and celebrating their triumphs. Their friendship, once an unlikely alliance forged in the fires of divorce and remarriage, had evolved into something real, resilient, and deeply meaningful. It was a testament to the idea that even the most complicated relationships could, with effort and honesty, blossom into something beautiful, something enduring. And Reba, looking at Barbara Jean, saw not just her ex-husband's wife, but a true friend, a fellow traveler on the winding path of life, a woman who, like herself, was constantly striving to see beyond the reflection. Chapter 14. The kids grow up, and the nest begins to empty. As Reba's world expanded with David, and the adult relationships found new equilibrium, a quiet harmony settling into the once turbulent family dynamic. Her children were also embarking on their own journeys of growth and self. Ben and Van, no longer the squabbling boys obsessed with food, were rapidly approaching young adulthood, each grappling with their own challenges, their own aspirations, their own unique paths. Ben, at 15, was developing a keen interest in music. He spent hours in his room, strumming his guitar, his voice growing deeper and more resonant, composing his own heartfelt melodies. He was still the sensitive one, with a contemplative nature, but with a newfound confidence that came from finding his passion. From expressing himself through art, Reba often found herself stopping outside his door, listening to his melancholic yet beautiful tunes, a proud smile on her face, recognizing the burgeoning talent within him. Van, at 17, was focused on sports and his burgeoning social life. He was a talented athlete, excelling in football and basketball, and his